and the Beatles came here. So Hamburg was extraordinarily badly damaged during World War II. They did rebuild, but with it being a maritime city, a port city, you know, a few bad things started to creep in. Actually, Hamburg had quite a bad reputation for sort of gangland type activity and so on in the 60s. And there's some interest, like there's a lot of German TV programs about it. I mean, I always knew about the Reeperbahn, but I didn't know it was quite so bad. But it got cleaned up. There was a really big campaign by the police force here to make things much better. A little bit like Amsterdam, you do have a street with ladies in the windows as well. It's not on the same scale as Amsterdam, and you can't just walk down it as a tourist. It's kind of fenced off, so you actually need to convince the person at the gate that you're in there for business, not for just gawking at people. So I don't know how you do that, but anyway. But you know, the oldest profession in the world and sailors go hand in hand. So it's little wonder that industry grew up. The name of the street, the Reeperbahn, actually comes from the fact that they made ropes there, which obviously are very important for our city that is involved in shipping. So the rope making industry led to the name there. So in the early 60s, 5 young lads came over from Liverpool. They were called John and Paul, George, Pete and Stuart. Perhaps not the last 2 names that you were expecting me to say. But when they first came, it was Pete Best and Stuart Sutcliffe, who were the additional band members. Pete Best was the drummer, and Stuart Sutcliffe was a guitar player. And Stuart Sutcliffe particularly is often the forgotten Beatle, they say. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, I mean, when he was here, he met a young woman called Astrid Kirchner. She was really influential in how the Beatles developed their look, that sort of bowl haircut thing that they had going on. But he grew a bit disillusioned with it and decided to leave. And she encouraged that decision, if that was what was going to make him happy. But unfortunately, within a year of leaving, he suffered a brain aneurysm or something along those lines and died at a very young age. So, a bit of a sad end for Stuart Sutcliffe, but he was part of this experience when they first came here in the 60s. So they came from Liverpool, which was a hugely depressed city at the time. Not much in the way of like the industries that had made Liverpool an important city had started to fade. There was a lot of urban decay, degeneration, unemployment. So when the boys came here, it felt like they were in the wealthiest city on earth. The reason they were here, a guy who was managing them at the time had some success with bringing other bands here. There was a very big music scene here. People like Jimi Hendrix played here as well. And so he thought if he brought them here, they'd learn to play properly like a live band. They'd be put in bars, seedy places where they had to stay on stage for hours on end. So this is when they learned to do things like extended drum solos and massive guitar solos to really string things out. But it made them become a very tight unit playing together as well. Naturally, young men got up to